thank you for all that you do to represent these service veterans because they're devoted to you. It's their family members, the caregivers, survivors will call Virginia home. I'm especially honored to share the stage with Brittany and Jared and Nathan and Margaret Catherine. I love those barrettes in her hair, man. I tell you what, and look at her. She looks like she's 19 years old, sitting there with her, like a little lady with her legs crossed. Brittany, you're doing triple duty.
In case you missed it, Joe Biden's anti-terrorism initiative classifies those of us who care about other humans and oppose all forms of capitalism, corporate globalization, and governing institutions which are perceived as harmful to society as domestic violent extremists. This is coming from a blue check anti-fascist abolitionists. We warned you. Yes, we did warn you. Joe Biden is also the devil. So when you voted for Joe Biden, you voted for a mass murdering racist devil who's the enemy of the people. And he's an authoritarian. And so here we go. This is categories of domestic violent extremists. So this is the new categories of so now we're no longer for the United States is now focusing on itself. Now remember what we've said at this show since it started. Whatever we do to people overseas, whatever horrible thing we do to them, we're eventually going to do it to ourselves. And here it is. Now the terrorists are no longer in Iraq, Libya, because we're funding the terrorists now. Us in Saudi Arabia and Qatar are funding Al-Qaeda, al-Nusra, ISIS. We're doing that. Look up Timber Sycamore. Look it up. So we're actually funding. So we're not fighting terrorists anymore. We're funding them. And so now we're going to fight terrorists at home. And so we have to invent some.
Saved your political life in the primaries this year. They have things they want from you, and one of them is a black woman running mate. What do you say to them?
What I say to them is that I'm not acknowledging anybody who is being considered, but I guarantee you there are multiple black women being considered. Multiple.
Charlemagne had a follow-up question, but got interrupted by someone off camera saying their time was up. The radio host instead invited Biden to come back, but Joe's response was off-putting.
Listen, you got to come see us when you come to New York, VP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
The comment may have been directed just at Charlemagne, but it plays into the false notion that Democrats own the black vote and don't have to earn the black vote. Furthermore, a privileged white man does not get to dictate what is and isn't black.
Hey guys, do I look white to you? Fuck Joe Biden. Hello, this is Christopher Ben Israel, and thank you for listening to this commentary. In this commentary, I would like to talk about why Joe Biden is evil, why he sucks, and why he's basically just a terrible president. Now, granted, guys, we haven't exactly had a good president or a decent president since, like, John F. Kennedy. But still, Joe Biden is pretty bad. Now, as you can tell from the clips that I put in the video, he's just a weirdo. Like, let's talk about the first one. So, the guy's up there giving a speech or whatever, just, normal president shit. And then he decides to go off and just talk about a little girl in the audience and just get completely distracted and talk about just how attractive he found a child, basically. Now, if that's not the weirdest thing I've ever seen a president do, I don't know what to tell you. Now, guys, I'm no fan of Trump. In fact, I'm no fan of any president. In fact, I hate both the parties because both parties are pro-war, and I hate war, and I like Arabs, and I don't want to kill Arabs, and Americans kill a lot of Arabs in their wars, so fuck all that bullshit. So yeah, I don't even vote. I didn't vote for Biden, but anytime it seems like somebody criticizes Joe Biden, they want to say, "Oh, you must be a Trump supporter. You must love Donald Trump." It's like, no, dude. It's just the president's a pedophile. Like, I can say that without being a Republican. Like, can't I? And it's like, no, not really, because now we live in a day and age where it's just partisan politics. It's just divisive. It's either you're on one side or you're on another side. And it doesn't matter if both of the sides basically agree on 80%. If you would disagree on 20% of something, then fuck you. You gotta pick one or the other, even though both are basically pretty much the same. And that's how it is with Democrats and Republicans. It's like both parties are pro-war, both parties deny health care, both parties are pro-policing, both parties are racist. But at the end of the day, for some reason, people feel like if they vote for one or the other, somehow they're better than the other one, even though it's practically the same. Like, it's the greatest deception of illusion. Like, next to fiat currency, like paper money, like representative democracy, American representative democracy, mixed with liberal capitalism is the greatest illusion ever conceived upon mankind, because people still in these liberal societies feel like they're actually free. Like when you go to school for like, I don't know, 16, 17 years, and they tell you basically you're free for 17 years. And then once you get out of school, and you have to go to school, it's compulsory, by the way, you don't have a choice in the matter, but they're telling you you're free for 17 years while they're forcing you to do something. And then after they told you that you're a free human being for 17 years, they send you out into the capitalist world to work as a wage slave, right, for 40 hours a week. But the entire time they told you you were free, so you're free. Like, why would you question, why am I working 40 hours a week and I only have basically 2 days to myself? They told me I was free, so this is what freedom is, working most of your life. And it's like, that's literally the illusion. Like, and it's like, okay, yeah, you can vote or whatever, but it doesn't matter who you vote for, because we already selected the niggas before you even had a chance to decide. Like, democracy is a scam. You see, the richest people can just buy the politicians. And that's how you wind up with Joe Biden as the Democratic candidate out of all the better options they had up there. Wang, Warren, Tulsi. Hell, even Klobuchar would have been better than Biden. And she's a fucking wet blanket. Literally everybody, literally all the Democratic candidates that we had, even Bernie, of course Bernie, everybody wanted Bernie, but even if you just say, okay, fuck Bernie, he's not going to win or whatever, anybody would have been better than Biden, but we still somehow got Biden. And that's how you know it's a scam, bro. Like, the old racist pedophile somehow won? That doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean, it's just chilling at this point. I mean, America's going to do what America's going to do. I don't even vote anymore because, like I said before, both parties are pro-war. So there's no point, really. Oh, either way, you're going to kill Arabs in illegal wars? I'm not interested. And as you can see, Joe Biden is also an entitled piece of crap. What with his conversation with Charlemagne, where he said, well, hey, if you have a hard time deciding between me and Trump, you ain't really black. Ha ha ha. And it's like, nah, nigga, I'm very black. Unlike you with your pro bussin' ass, you're not even allowed to the cookout, Joe Biden. Nobody likes you, bro. The very few people who actually did vote for you felt compelled to do so. Like, I don't even know how his ass got elected. But that's just a perfect example of just liberal entitlement. Like, liberals feel like, oh yeah, doing the bare minimum for minorities means you just deserve all the support in the world from minorities. And it's like, no, who decided that Joe Biden is the representative of the black man? This dude is literally just Mr. Joe racist. Like, he doesn't like black people. He doesn't like Arabs. Like, he's an idiot. Like, he's the opposite of a progressive. He's a conservative. Conservative Republican. The wolf in sheep's clothing. Except this time it's the old man in the suit clothing. But that's another reason why I just don't even participate in politics, because it's just another example of colonization, in my opinion. Like, here, colored people, participate in our system that we basically indoctrinated and forced you into through a history of violence, subjugation, murder, and rape. And now that the murder, rape, subjugation, and slavery is in the past, become part of our liberal institutions and participate in our sham elections. And it's like, not really interested, even though, like, democratic cities and states still perpetuate poverty on African Americans. Like, you could see LA, Chicago, Baltimore. Yeah, list goes on. Atlanta. We all know how it is. Like, Section 8 housing, third rate schools, broken down roads, crack cocaine shipped in from the Contras and the CIA. And the cycle just keeps perpetuating itself. I'm glad now that we have, the internet and books, and you can see that black men are starting to educate themselves, becoming entrepreneurs and bettering themselves. But still, there's a lot of problems facing us coming from our own government, coming from men like Joe Biden who perpetuated these problems. Like, did he ever apologize for mass incarceration? No. Did he ever apologize for the Iraq War? No. Did he ever apologize for his busing policies? No. And, that's usually how it is with these things. Politicians just want you to forget all the horrible shit they did in the past without ever really addressing anything or giving you anything to look forward to, but just still expecting you to support them, because in reality, they're just rich assholes and puppets. Like, just a man in suit with hand on his spinal cord. That's really all it is. And it's evil bastards like Joe Biden that just really inspire me to just try to become a hermit and study Torah with my time all day. Because what's the point of even participating in society if the root of it is this much evil? Like, if, okay, they tell you, oh, come work for us at this corporation, this or that, but every other corporation is involved in shady business activities or child slavery, or the president is just corrupt pro-war piece of shit, and it's like, what are we contributing to as a nation? Like, why? Like, what's the point of, what are we building up here? More foreign wars in the Middle East? Like, I'd rather just read books and just leave me alone. Like, don't concern me with all this. Like, and I know that's kind of hypocritical, what with me making an entire rant about politics, but the way I see it, it's kind of just like a show to me. It's like a circus. It's like I really have no control. It's just a spectacle. Yeah, you can. They try to convince you that you have control, but really, you voting is just your ticket. Is what I see it as to the WWE. But you have no influence on who's going to win the match in the end. If it's going to be Undertaker or Triple H, that's up to Vince McMahon. It's really America is just a giant corporation. Like, that's all it really is. And now the corporation feels so threatened that they're going for bullshit domestic violence or domestic terrorism, whatever. Domestic violent extremism is what it says in this article here. And, you know, that's just dumb. Now we're just profiling our own citizens as terrorists. So, okay, anybody who's anti-capitalist, anybody who's anti-foreign war, anti-interventionist, anybody who's socialist or on the left economically, now we're all being targeted. And of course, we always were being targeted by the CIA, the NSA, covertly, but not overtly, right? By like military policing. But it seems that's the way it's going. And everybody was afraid of fascism coming down under Trump, or Trump's a fascist. We have to get rid of Trump. Well, Biden's a fascist too, obviously. Like, this is the beginning of the erosion of our First Amendment rights. You can't criticize capitalism. Capitalism is the state. There's no difference. We have state capitalism here. If you can't criticize capitalism, you can't criticize your government. Like, there's really no difference between the two. They work hand in hand. They're the two sides of the same coin. One side is the economy, one side is the judiciary. So I don't know where America's going to go from here. All these high-profile media sensationalists and well-known internet influentialists who are telling everybody to go out and vote and participate in democracy, it really amounted to nothing because now we have an even worse piece of shit in office. So who really cares? Because in the end of the day, you can't overrun fascism, or you can't uproot it by just participating in it, because that's all democracy is at this point. It's an exercise in fascism, because if your voting doesn't stop people from getting evicted during a pandemic, if it doesn't give people health care, if it doesn't end foreign wars, if it doesn't prosecute war criminals, like, we're not really doing anything. Like, in my opinion, the government's already been taken over by genocidal murderers. Like, we just got to be honest about it. Look what they did to Iraq. Look what they did to Syria, Afghanistan. They've been bombing these countries, killing millions of people, like, over the course of 20 years. And people just accept it as the status quo, or as a fact, like, oh, they're terrorists. They just go along with the propaganda without really looking into what they're doing. These are blatant war crimes. So nothing really is going to change in our society unless we, like, fix that first. Because if there's literally just evil niggas like at the very top of everything, like, do you really think they're gonna let you change anything or do anything? Because as soon as that happens, then that means they go to prison for everything that they've ever done, and they don't want that to happen. And Joe Biden is one of those very same people, because he voted for the Iraq war. The same day he came into office, he bombed Syria. Nothing's changed. He's one of them. He enjoys killing people too. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just going to keep my faith in Hashem. The way I see it, Joe Biden's evil. I mean, really, it's just all politicians, really American politicians, but really all politicians. It doesn't matter what country you go to. They're all just evil. They're trying to control your mind and influence you to do evil, but the way I see it, Hashem has a plan, and if I just focus on the light of the Torah, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to end the commentary here because I've rambled on long enough. I think it came out pretty well. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you, my friends and family. Thank Hashem, the one true God who reigns in heaven. Baruch Adonai Elohim El Shaddai. Have a great day, and enjoy the rest of this Max Payne 3 gameplay. I want to say Max Payne 3 is probably Rockstar's best video game ever designed. Yeah. Peace out.
Like I said, Passo's always had a good sense of humor.
We gotta find a phone. I got a connection in Queens who can help us.
All right.
Spread out! And clear every room before you move on. We don't want to miss these damn fools.
Our SOS was gonna have to wait.
Now you're gonna die slow, bastard!
Can't move here, Max! You gotta get up there and take him out!
You're a dead man, eh?
This is bad!
Fucking shoot him!
Okay, find that phone. Make a call. There's gotta be a landline in that office, man. I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, at least for a little while.
Let me just call somebody, get a little help, and we'll get out of here. Hey, it's me. We really need to get out of New Jersey.